All right, and we're back as promised. Well, I got into an area that I see I have a pretty decent signal. Oh, please, I'm probably going to screw it up. Welcome to Hike with Mike. I'm Mike. And today we are on the Nipmuc Trail in Mansfield, Connecticut. And for those of you who are familiar with the area, we are close to UConn, University of Connecticut, just down the road, hiking at what is a section of the Nipmuc Trail. And today, not only have we been exploring streams and rivers and all kinds of beauty in the snow, we've had an interesting talk. And the talk has been centered around your first step in committing to XYZ. In our case, it could be a health commitment. And I talked briefly on the subject of what I've continued here. I want to versus I am going to. We're going to explore that in a lot more detail in my upcoming videos and my book. But what I wanted to do is just kind of give you something that really was the key to my getting started, because I think that's the biggest piece for anybody. They really wait too long for conditions to be perfect, and that time never comes. And in the meantime, days, weeks, months, years pass. And those desires never come to fruition because we constantly make excuses and we wait for the perfect timing. In the meantime, time passes by. If we wait too long for things to be perfect, it gets our body, kind of slipped on a rock here, used to, and our minds used to not taking action. And it's almost like a muscle. The more you learn to take action, the more you are better able to do it. Now we take action every day on simple things, low risk things, sometimes high risk things, but often with low risk things. But there's not a lot of risk to saying that you're going to commit to your health. I think the risk we take is when we don't. But that's our choice. I'm never going to tell you you have to do these things, but I will advocate for putting health first in your life. Here, it's a helicopter. I don't have time to catch it on the video here. It flew by quick. Probably hear it. You hear me heavy breathing as I'm schlepping up the hill. I can't think of a better word to describe it. Some of you guys know that my mother's side of the family is Jewish, and half of that is actually what they call Ashkenazi Jewish, the ones who speak Yiddish. And sometimes, because I grew up in that family, some words don't better describe a situation. I could say dragging my butt up the hill or dragging my tuchus up the hill, but I kind of like schlepping because it really makes me feel like I can hear my grandfather in the back of my mind. Oy, Walt, I had to schlep all the way to Hartford. Yeah. Sometimes that's what it feels like, trudging through the snow. I'm schlepping, but I love it. Don't get me wrong. All right, now we're gonna carefully cross this river. I unfortunately did not wear my better boots, so my feet are probably gonna get a little wet. Oh well. Oh, there's a little rock bridge over here. Yeah, I can get over there. It's a little skinnier. Oh no, it's a log. Now, if Chris was on here, he'd be telling me to leap, which is what I might do. Take that leap of faith. And, yeah. Otherwise, I just want to try to do this. It's not a big one, but one small mistake and either I'm going to drop my phone or I'm going to step into the water. And I don't want to do either, obviously. But we can go across these rocks right here. All right. If I had my waterproof boots on, I wore more of my older boots today. I'm letting my boots that I wore yesterday dry out. Well, that wasn't bad. We just crossed right there. Not bad at all. Good. Now my nose is dripping. Oh, I'm complaining. Yeah. I hope the way I've described some of these things makes sense to folks when I talk about that first step of making a commitment to yourself for your health, or playing the guitar, or writing a book, Mike. I'm going to keep saying that. I cannot, I'd be a sham if I was going to just say these things to you and not do them myself. You guys know me by now. I don't sugarcoat stuff. I don't BS. I don't try to hand you a line and tell you everything's going to be perfect. All right? I really try to be honest. And I still struggle with a lot of things in my life. But I got the health part down because, hey, let's face it. That's probably the most important piece. I let my house fall apart, but I come out hiking. And now I got this big list of things that need to be done on our Jeep. Terry brought home the bill and with the write-up on the estimates, and I'm like, oh, goody. Rear struts, blah, blah, blah. The car's not falling apart. Let's see how much longer I can drive before it's a problem. Thing's only got 70,000 miles. What do I got to go placing all this? Really, an oil pan seal? Whatever. I might be able to do that myself. I digress. And I digress because I will get on a tangent about that. We're heading up a hill, or for those of you who prefer, we are schlepping up a hill, because that's what you do in the snow. It's not deep enough today for snowshoeing, really, in my opinion. I did bring them, but my snowshoes, with the amount of rocks here, it would be actually more cumbersome to walk on this than it would be enjoyable. So I left them in the Mustang. And yes, I drove out the Mustang today. I left them in there, and there they are. So as we're coming up this hill, you can see there's two large rocks, boulders. Yeah. It looks like they were once connected. I don't know. We got a lot of that here in New England. Glacial boulders that get pushed. It's very rocky here. Very rocky. Look at all these rocks. You gotta be careful with your footing, especially, you can see I'm not walking cause this is down. It's not super steep, but it's an incline. You know, it's enough. I'm breathing, and I'm in really good shape. And, it's keeping me breathing. It's up. It goes up, up, up. And, we'll see how far I'm going to go today. I've already walked. It's a little about an hour and 18 minutes, but it's only 2 miles. So that's a pretty, I'm going to say, for hiking, that's my slower pace. I can usually average about 2.5 miles in an hour in the woods, depending. I mean, it just really depends on the terrain. To give you an example, when I walk on the street on a level ground, usually during the week at work, I average about 3.5 miles in an hour. You know, depends. Could get up close to 3.7 miles sometimes in an hour, which is pretty good. I'm usually doing about 3.5, about 3.4 to 3.6 miles in an hour. That's a little challenging to do in the woods. Oh, I just got snowballed. How did that happen? I fell out of a tree. Landed right on my left hand. That was pretty funny. Felt like somebody tossed something at me. I'm literally the only person out here that I know of. All right, come on up. See how rocky it is? I don't know. Oh, there's the next. See the blue one up there? That's where the next one is. We'll start heading up there. As I said, guys, if you're really interested in all the things that I've done, which obviously, I mean, some people are interested in the hiking. Some people are interested in, whatever it is that I'm saying or spouting out of my head. But if you're really interested in the steps that I used, the biggest thing is that commitment. And it may not seem that important, but it's what keeps people from starting in the first place. Look at this little here. It's like a little waterfall coming down. Very rocky, though. A lot of big boulders, huh? It's a waterfall coming down. Let's get a little closer. Check it out. It's very mossy here, too. Which, the reason I point that out, I just slipped a little bit. Moss is very slippery. FYI. Especially with snow on top of it. It's a cute little stream, though. We'll get right up to it. To this branch. Yeah. We'll see how far I want to go up. If I'm getting too tired, yesterday I did a pretty good hike in the mountains. That one was a little more aggressive. It's probably one of the most aggressive hikes that I do right now. It's up there in the top, and that's at Sleeping Giant. Today, although I am climbing up hills and mountains, there's a lot more level. It's not quite as steep. I probably won't go 6 miles. I don't know. Let's see. 2.15 right now. It might be closer to 5. We'll see. See how far I get. It's really depending on how long I want to be out today. It's not that late in the afternoon, luckily. We're in Eastern Standard Time. It's just a little past 2 o'clock. I got a little, as usual, later start. Look at these little pools here, huh? I tell you, in the summertime, I don't know how... Water looks clear. I'd almost step in there with my bare feet and get all kinds of, who knows, disease on my feet, right? All right, did I lose the blue marker? There it is. So it must be up here somewhere. There's unfortunately a lot of dead trees. I'm guessing that this particular trail is... Unfortunately, there hasn't been another person walking on it, so I'm going purely by the markers. So I'm trusting that they're here. And it looks like it crosses over. We'll see when I get up here. But I believe this... Nope, that's not a marker. I should see one soon. I'm going to kind of search. This is the only challenging part. I haven't really hiked over here a lot. I think this is only my second time on this section of this trail. So there are challenges in knowing the direction. Plus, you can't see the worn out path because it's snow covered. Normally, you can kind of see if you're looking for the trail markers. And some of them could be on these fallen trees. Who knows? Right? Oh, did it cross over? It looks like it did. Good thing I looked. Here, I'll show you guys. It did cross over. Now I got to cross another stream. For my heavy metal and punk rock friends, I love crossover. That's just a little ha-ha for them, if you know what I mean. And I think you do. All right, here we go. We're going to attempt this with a phone in my hand. But see, there's the blue marker. And it means I got to cross this stream as I'm slipping down a rock. All right. See? It's not bad, though. It's kind of... Yeah, here we go. There we go. See? We just crossed that. Oh my gosh. I'm so daring. Okay. We are in the right direction. Let's keep going. Now, where does it go next? Again, once I get on the other side of this boulder, look at all that moss. I'll figure out where the next marker is. It's like a scavenger hunt. Where the hell? Oh, there it is. Okay. You're just all, and that's part of it here. That's the nice thing with some of these marked trail systems. Now, if I go on hikes sometimes where I go off the marked trails, but those are only in areas that I've hiked many, many times. Most of those are local to my home. I've literally been, I don't even know. Well, I shouldn't even say a literal because I don't know, but at least couple dozen times to some of these parks. And there I can get away with cutting through the middle. All right. Hey, pull my hat down. Get a little sweaty. Ooh, I got this, what would you call it? A muffler? I don't know what it's called. It's not a scarf. It's pulled down around my neck. Sometimes it gets a little cold, you know, down the back of the neck, the nape of the neck. All right. So here we go. We're going up some more. I'll drag you up. All right. Let's go. Hear me breathing? Woo. Although I really shouldn't complain because this is nothing like, oh, wait a minute. Now the blue marker's there. There's a marker there too. That one looks white though. All right. Sort of. My eyes aren't as great as they should be anymore because I do have a little, well, that's not bad. I can see that one's not really blue. That looks to be white. This is definitely blue. I want to stay on this blue trail because I want to follow it back. Plus I'll have my footprints. They won't be here in a few days. You know, you guys, whoever lives up here in the Northeast, it's going to be close to 70 on Wednesday. I think in the 60s on Tuesday, and then close to 70. This will be pretty much gone. It will be a distant memory. The winter wonderland. It's starting to look a lot like Christmas everywhere I go. And here we go. Boy, I gotta come out here. I don't know. I think the only other time I came on this trail, it was snowy and icy. I have not come out here in the spring or summer, partially because I don't often think of this as a very challenging hike. But in terms of distance, you can go almost as far as you want. The trail, all trail listing shows it as 9-something miles out and back. So about 4.5 out, 4.5 back. I'm not doing that today because I just frankly don't need to. I don't have that kind of time. It takes longer to hike in the snow. You got to be careful. You can't move at the pace you normally do. And, you know, it's slippery. These rocks, like, look, they're mossy too. Very mossy. A little slippery. But that's fine. I like it. It's not dangerous if you take your time. I heard something. Sometimes these trees creak out here. It makes noises. You know, as you probably saw, there are a lot of fallen trees. I've been on hikes where I've heard trees cracking a little. Gotta be probably just a little aware. That's why let me tell you. Okay, now we're gonna get some hiking tips from Mike. I give them once in a while. Don't wear headphones when you're hiking. Not smart. I'm sorry if you do, and I just don't think it's a wise idea because you really need to listen what's going on. You're out in the middle of the woods, okay? There are animals out here. I haven't seen any, but I'm seeing, as you can see, you know, tracks. Most of these have been deer and bird, probably squirrel. There are coyotes. There are, what else is around here? You know, I'm in eastern Connecticut. I haven't heard tell of bears, although what are they supposed to be doing? Hibernating, right? I haven't seen any bears around in this area. But you just got to be careful. Sometimes, I'll give you an example. I was hiking, I think it was last year, way out in the middle of woods in some park. Don't remember where. And it was a person in front of me, and they were at a distance, and I was coming up on them, and I was kind of clomping and making noise as I'm walking. You know, I usually don't yell at them because I don't want to startle them. But I was getting closer and closer, and then I noticed they had their headset on, and I'm like, oh boy. But I don't know if they had stopped or something, but I started to pass them, and then they almost shat in their pants. I'm like, sorry, dude. It's a young guy. I'm like, sorry, dude. I was trying to make as much noise as possible, but that's not fun because I don't think, you know, where we were hiking, I do remember it was not a trail that were a lot of people, so he probably didn't think he was going to be coming across anybody, but scared. I've had it happen a few times. There were a couple women who were deeply in conversation, and I was really trying to, make noise as I was coming up on. And one of the ladies goes, "Ah!" When I came up, I'm like, "Ma'am, I'm sorry." I tried to make a lot of noise. She goes, "Oh, no, don't worry about it. It happens." The point is, you want to keep your awareness when you're out here, because like I said, towards Christmas week, I saw packs of coyotes running around in one of the parks. All right, I know. They're not terribly. Where's the blue marker now? Where did it go? I saw it, but it might have gone up the other way. Not seeing it now. Gosh darn it. See, I get talking and then I don't pay attention. I'm not going to blame you for that. Don't worry. It's my fault. Completely my fault. Where did it go? Okay. Oh, I am on the right path. Okay. Here we go. So it's right here. Come on. It's barely, you see that. All right. Well, I don't know where the next one is, but I'm feeling like I got to keep going this way. So sometimes you can kind of get an idea of what the path is because you can tell. Yeah. So not very obvious, but see that tree laying across here? I can see that the ground, boy, it's subtle. You got to remember, I hike a lot and I can just tell the path is going through here. It's a little dipped in the snow, but that's very subtle. Well, you watch. I'm right. Because and if it's not the path, it is a path. You just look. I don't know if you can even tell, but it is slightly dipped. Yeah, ta-da, there's a blue marker. So I am on the right path. It's funny. There are no tracks. You can't really see the trail, but it is slightly concave right here, and that's how I know this is the trail. Little strange thing. Plus the trees. It's kind of clear. That's another way you can kind of tell where the path is in the snow. Kind of a strange thing. You just pick up on it over time. But, it's so subtle though. So subtle, the concave part. Oh, what came through here? Interesting. There's been humans out here. They just went straight through the middle of the woods. Straight down that hill. That's a pretty steep walk down there. Oh, well, they recently came through. Here we go. This is an interesting marker. You see these once in a while. I'm not sure why they use these versus paint, but sometimes this is wood. Yeah. What do they got on the other side? Nothing. All right. Now we're back to paint over here. I don't know why they do that. Once in a while I'll see that. I've seen plastic too. Oh, people. All right. And a dog. Oh, we'll keep going. Just keeping it quiet as I'm approaching. Hey there, how you doing? All right, here we go, over here. I'll take you over here. I don't like putting people on camera unbeknownst to them. It's just not right. But I will describe what I saw. It's interesting. It was a man and a woman with a dog, nice, a tan dog. I'm not sure what it was, maybe mixed. But the more interesting piece was they had a camp table set up and they were cooking something. I don't know what. Couldn't smell it. He basically, there was a lot of smoke and they probably had, I don't know, propane or something, gas stove. They were cooking something. Probably lunch. What time is it? I could probably go for something. What do I got today? Let's see. I packed my usual, a banana, an apple, and a tangerine, and a protein bar. That's what I packed today. Easy enough. I've been getting thirsty lately on some of these hikes, so I've been trying to pack more water. Although it's harder in the wintertime, I don't sweat as much. Although lately, hikes like this do make you sweat, so that's interesting. This is where those footprints were coming from, what I showed you a minute ago. They came up from this way. They just cut through. I don't know if it's those people, although I don't see a dog in here, so I don't know where they came from. They must have come from the other side. I don't know where. I don't see the dog prints. Where's that dog? No, maybe it is. Yeah, that's dog prints. Okay. The dog was just running around. All right, so they came from up here. Yeah, I know they didn't come from my direction because I'm the only one that had done footprints up till that point where I just met them. So they did come up this way. Yeah, the dog was just meandering through the woods. I can see. Yeah, you can see the dog prints right here. Yeah, and the human prints. Humans! More humans. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to turn it around. Oh, I'll probably be turning around heading back in a minute. Good. All right. Let's see. Oh, I remember this. This is a cool little area. Got a girl with a nice camera here. Oh, there's a few photographers, professional cameras. I see that once in a while in some of these areas. Gorgeous shots out of here. There. Hi. Oh, that's nice. Let me show you. It kind of goes down that way, and when I turn around, it goes up like that, kind of in a clearing here. Nice. What are you doing?
Good.
Yeah, do you want to trail masters or just?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm new to the trail.
Okay, nice. Thank you. I like this trail. I don't get out here often.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. 'Cause I usually do Schoolhouse Brook over a little further. It's a weird thing on all trails. They call this Schoolhouse Brook for some reason. I don't know why.
They do?
Yeah, alltrails.com. It might have been somebody put it out there wrong. I know it connects.
There are mistakes in there. Yeah.
Yeah, it does connect because eventually you can get to it from here, right? Yeah. Or
No, this is the Blue Blaze Nipmuc Trail.
yeah,
Always has been.
I like this. That was a couple months ago. I did the other side down around the reservoir.
Oh, yeah.
It was very cold.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah.
How far do you do down?
I do from Spring Hill.
Okay, yep.
Up here where the town hall is,
Yep.
the old town hall.
Yep.
To Willington, Marsh Road in Willington.
Oh,
8
wow.
miles.
That's quite a distance. Yeah.
Yeah. They break it up in 8-mile sections, and each one of us gets an 8-mile section.
I didn't know that.
Keep after. We do everything from painting the blazes to cutting up trees that fall over the trail and
Interesting.
fixing broken signs.
Yep. So, like I notice a lot of times you're painting the blazes, but once in a while I'll see like a wooden blaze or a plastic one, or is that just up to the person why they
You
do
mean
that?
the signs?
Well, no, the blazes. I've actually,
Yeah.
yeah, I saw down there was one. It was wood. It was on the tree and it was painted blue.
Well, that's not my section. That may be something new that I don't know about.
Oh, okay. It's not too far down, but
I
it's,
paint mine.
Yep.
And here and there, I'll put an arrow in there where I.
yeah, I've been noticing arrows. Yeah.
But I never use plastic.
Well, no, this one was wood, but I have
Oh,
seen
yeah.
plastic in other places.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
The painting, unfortunately, it's simple. It's easy, but it only lasts about 3 years. I
Is
gotta
that
redo
okay?
The trail every 3
Do you
years.
use a special?
They give me the Forest and Park Association. I have to use their paint. They
Gotcha.
require that. They're more worried about the color. I don't know what kind of a formula the paint is. I just take what they give me.
Yeah, probably safe for the tree, though, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
Interesting. Cool. Well, it's nice. I tell you, any chance I can get out, it's
Especially
great.
in a day like today.
Oh, yeah. I think it's going to be like 70 on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It'll be crazy. So, Well, cool. Well, nice meeting you, and thank you for all you do.
Affiliated with UConn?
No, I live in Manchester, so I just come out and
Get a lot of UConn people.
yeah, I can imagine. I hiked Sleeping Giant yesterday, and of course that's across from Quinnipiac.
Yeah, I know it.
And so yeah, oh yeah. So you know that one gets a lot of the students there.
Yeah.
And this is a little more relaxed hike. So
Yeah.
it's nice. Yeah. I try to get around the state. We've got a lot of nice parks around.
Especially in Eastern Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I like about Eastern as opposed to the West, don't get me wrong, I like the Western because you got a little more mountainous.
Yeah.
You can hike out in some of these trails for hours and just be alone, really.
Yeah.
So,
There's a lot of open space out here.
yeah, I like James L. Goodwin too. I do that one.
Yeah. Oh, those are good up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
There's a trail that comes up out of there called the Natchog Trail,
Yep.
which connects with my trail up in Ashford. So
Oh,
quite a ways up the way.
okay.
But you can split off and go over to the Goodwin from this trail. It's a piece of work.
I can imagine. Someday, hopefully, I'll have enough time. I usually don't go much more than a 3-4 hour stint. It's hard to get that kind of time. But, yeah, it's gorgeous. Well, I'm gonna head on. It was nice chatting with you, sir. Take care. So every once in a while, you run into, I have this is about my third time, run into what's called the trail master or the trail maintainers here in Connecticut. And if you hike these, and as he was mentioning, the blue markers that I've been showing you guys, there are people obviously doing them, and he is one of the guys who does them. He's an older gent. Actually, a lot of them are retirees that I've ran into who do it, and I always make sure to thank them because it's nice. And they have to do things like ensure that the trail is clear. Sometimes they have to change the route a little bit because of whatever reason. They maybe have to reroute around a fallen tree. I've seen that happen. Or the landscape changes a little bit, and so these guys take care of that. And I like chatting with them because it's interesting. I've had them try to recruit me too. You want to take? My plate is full. I would maybe someday when I'm retired, I'd happily help out. But I do donate to the state forestry once in a while when I can, and I'm gonna probably try to do that more because what these folks do is very important for us to be able to have beautiful places like this to hike, and wherever you live, if you've got places like this, just remember, respect the area, please. Don't leave. It's obvious, but you'll be surprised. People leave their litter and which, sometimes people damage some of the. Oh, talk about a gorgeous tree. I'm sorry, this tree I think I've taken pictures of before. Sometimes I remember certain trees, especially when I become friends with them. I know I'm crazy. I always talk about being friends with trees, but look at this tree. Oh, my gosh, is this a massive, gorgeous tree. Here's our typical New England stone wall. But look at this thing. Oh, my gosh. It's about, I don't even know how wide across. It's almost 5 feet across. That is a massive, thick tree. For here in New England, I know you've got sequoias and whatnot, but this tree could be a couple 100 years old. I don't know. That is just a beauty. Isn't that a beauty? Oh. Massive tree. I don't know what it is about big trees like that, but they speak to me because, there's a history. Let's just say this tree here is a couple 100 years old. And this stone wall that I showed you is probably that old too, because most of these stone walls, if they're out here in the middle of the woods, were put here by folks who were first settling this area to border off their properties. And that tree may have been there. Yeah, that tree may have been there. Who knows how long. But, gotta quiet it down. All right. Why don't I got the people passing me? That's fine. It was actually the gentleman who was talking to me a minute ago. I don't want to follow too closely. That way I can keep them off camera. You know, I will bring people on once in a while if they agree to it, but I generally just try to keep them anonymous. I'll talk to them and whatnot on camera, but I don't usually bring them on. But yeah, that is just a gorgeous tree. If you missed it, go back, rewind, and check it out. If you're into trees like I am, I got it. That one maybe on the way back. I'm gonna grab a photo of it, and then I'm gonna use that one for one of my Manchester Art Association photos. Well, we've been lucky so far. You've been lucky. No, I've been lucky too. Been getting good reception out here. It's been nice. I'm kind of looking off to the side there. There's another, where we just were a minute ago when I passed through that clearing area where I was chatting with that gentleman fixing the signs. I can see the clearing, and it's hard. A lot of times when you see clearings like that, they're usually due to a couple things. Power lines, telephone, communications, those type of things, and or gas I've seen. And I can't tell. It might have been gas lines, but I didn't see signs. Normally with gas lines, they have signs kind of warning that there's gas lines down below. Didn't see that this time. Let me take a look at my watch here. We have gone, an hour and 46 minutes. It's probably time for me to turn around and start heading back. Yeah, it's getting a little mushy down there. Take a look. Yeah, and I don't have my good boots on although you can walk to the side. That's the gentleman who, you might even see him way down there, who was talking to me a minute ago. That's his footprints. He just headed down that way. But I think, because I don't want to go too long, I'm going to start heading back. So now we've turned around. I've talked about this before in past hikes. There's generally two types of hikes that you can do. There's what's called linear. And linear is basically you go out and come back, or if you're with two people, you can park on one end and go on the other end, go down the other end and walk, get to their car and drive. You could do a lot of different things with linear, right? And then there's loop trails. Now this does have other variations, and you can do a loop, I saw, but I don't really know where that other one was. I didn't study the map. So I'm doing an out and back. And whenever you do an out and back, look at your distance, and in my case, 2.72, and times it by 2, and that'll be your total. So this will be a little over, about a 5.2 mile hike. Well, wait, 2.7? 5.4. Wait, 5.4, yes, mile hike by the time I'm done. Which is pretty good in the snow. Not bad, but here we go. There's my footprints when I head over that tree. Well, I'll catch that tree. I've caught that tree before. I'll have to look through my library of tree photos. I could pause for a second, but that tree is just amazing to me. Look at this here. This happens sometimes. And yet the tree is still living. It's rotting down at the bottom. That tree is a candidate to fall. And in some of these guys, I imagine he might even look at some of that and try to determine if they need to take safety precautions. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I've seen on some of the trails that I hike, well, especially along the Connecticut River, there's trails there, and they put barriers up at the bottom of the trees because the beavers chew them. And sometimes, most of the time, the beavers, they know what they're doing. They chew them the right way, and the tree falls into the river. Although, because we don't really want the Connecticut River dammed up with trees, they generally try to prevent the beavers from doing that over there. They let them do it on the outskirts. As I've seen, there's beavers all over the place around here. I've even seen them here. There are some nice beaver dams. And I forgot what they call their homes. I don't know if it's a dam or a hut or whatever they call them. But there's some massive ones that live around here. Not as big as the ancient beavers, but there are some pretty good sized creatures. They get a little startled too, because they do come up, out of the water, and they'll come around and either gnaw on the trees, or I don't know what the heck they eat. I guess they eat fish. I don't know what beavers eat. Wood? They don't eat wood. I got some people approaching, so I'm going to turn around in a second so you can look at me. Hi! And then once we get down a little further, I'm going to cut off because I'll be losing reception again. But we'll stay on a couple minutes. You can stick with me, but I'm going to keep it a little low for a second here while we pass this group. Oh, gorgeous. Oh yeah, South Puddin Lane. Let's see here. Hi there.
Where you going, Mark?
All right. It's pretty cool. We're at a crossroads. That's the area I was telling you about. This goes down for a while. I don't know where. There's footprints going down too. I don't know where this goes. I can see way off in the distance. This keeps going like this. Way down there, there's a white streak going up the side of a large hill. And then it goes off up here, this way. They definitely mow and maintain it, but I don't know what this is. I should have asked the guy. I wasn't thinking at the time. Alright. So as we're heading down here, it's interesting. Now, so the guy told me, the section of trail that I'm on, he asked me if I was from Yukon, which was interesting. So he said they get a lot of Yukon folks. I guess I'm one of them young whippersnappers. I'm going to Yukon. I imagine you get a lot of them over here hiking from there. It's not far, like I said, I'm just down the road. And I believe this path actually goes right alongside or right to Yukon in the direction we were just heading. Because I saw a trail marker when I was down by Yukon a little while ago. Oh, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about how these are connected. I don't know if you heard the gentleman talking, but he was explaining to me that there's another trail, I've already forgotten the name, that connects up and brings you into another park that I like here in eastern Connecticut called the James L. Goodwin State Forest Park. Oh, hang on. I'm back. Oh, yeah, it's a photographer group. Take a second here. Must be photography students. They look young. Oh. Hello again. Alright, and we're going to be coming up. I wonder if this group is over here still cooking. Yeah, there's two people with cameras, and one person is kind of tagging along. Who knows what they're doing? They could just be hobbyists. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, here, since we're not, let's take this here. Yeah, so far I haven't needed my snack. I'll probably eat it when I get to the car. Although, I got up late, and Terry and I did some yoga and stretching this morning. I don't know why I stayed up late. I was going to go to a concert last night, and I got down the road, and I just decided, here we go. Yeah, I decided that it was getting a little risky to drive 45 minutes in the middle of a snowstorm. It wasn't a bad snow, but it was slippery on the highway at the time I was going, and I was in the Jeep. So, So I stand corrected. What I thought was a camp table is actually a bench that's sitting on the edge of this overlook where these people were. I thought they must have some sort of heating device, like a small portable camp stove, because there was definitely smoke coming, because they had a bunch of stuff sitting on that. I didn't want to stare too hard at what they were doing. I'm assuming they were being safe. All right, where is this trail going? Yeah, it looks like me. No. There's me. Okay. Yeah, okay. Did you guys hear me before? I told this guy, and he acted like he didn't know what I was talking about. Wish he was here. Unless he doesn't mean... That's wood. I told him. I'm not... Well, I am crazy, but I did know what I was talking about. That is wood. Yeah, here's another one. What is he talking about? Unless he doesn't maintain this... I could have swore he says he maintains this. That's wood. Maybe I didn't make myself very clear. Because I was asking him... I was trying to understand why some areas they have paint just directly on the tree. The only thing I can think of is that particular type of tree doesn't hold the paint well, and maybe they nail that marker in there so that they have a place to put it. It's the only thing I can think of why they would put that marker as opposed to painting it directly on. I've seen all kinds of stuff. Sometimes there's areas I hike where there's no trees, sometimes in certain sections, and they put a pole in the ground with a blue or whatever color marker on it. I see that. If it's rocks, well, a lot of times I'm hiking right on rocks or stone areas. They paint that. In fact, quite a bit of the trail I was doing yesterday in Sleeping Giant was on rock. And as I was basically scaling up the side of the mountain to Sleeping Giant, not like with rappelling or with ropes. It was not vertical, but it was like that. It was all rock. And they just paint the rock and you follow that. Well, you basically go where you can grab. It was interesting yesterday. There was quite a few people there, but I ran into a young woman who, I think I mentioned this yesterday, who was asking me about going down and if it was safe and whatnot. She had never done it. And I said, truthfully, I've never done it myself. And I don't particularly want to. I didn't tell her that part. But I basically said, you might want to scoot down backwards and go down it. Because that's how I would do it if it meant my life. But anyway, I digress. They paint the rock. Is what I was trying to explain so you know where to go, where it's safe. That particular hike, I'm going to tell you, is not for beginners. It's you got to be really careful there. They have had incidents where they've had to rescue people. People have died there. It's not a joke. You could tumble down the side of that rock if you lose your grip or footing. I stay low when I go there because being low to the ground, you're less likely to fall because you're already down. And there were some places that were a little tricky and slippery. There were some icy areas too. Forget, it's still winter. I don't hike there when it's snow covered, and I don't hike there when it's very icy. Yesterday was probably one of the few times I will hike there in the winter when I don't mind cold. Yeah, I can handle that. That's fine. But it's safety that's primary. And like here, I'm going to give you an example. So why don't you follow me here. You can see my footprints from earlier. And it's rocky. And it's also snowy. And it's mushy snow now, right? And there's leaves underneath. And then there's slippery rocks. And I have to be careful because if I don't step in the right spot, gravity's going to pull my foot and I'm going to slip. And I could slip and hurt myself pretty bad because it's rocky. I could be wearing grips on the bottom of my boots. I don't really need them right now. It's not icy. The grips could help. I would tell you, I'm glad I didn't wear my snowshoes. This would have been horrible in snowshoes. Just not enough snow. And I'd probably still try to be getting up the side of this hill if I was in those big honking snowshoes I have. Oh, man, look at this here. All right. Now watch this buzz. What's going on? Oh, 30 minutes. So it's been 2 hours now. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be snack time soon. I'm just kind of taking it easy here, and we'll go down. Well, I think it's good time for me to wrap it up. I'm sorry. I know. Hey, listen, you always know I'm going to be out here. Now, if I do see something else exciting, I will bring it back on. But I think for now, I'm going to wrap it up for today, at least, for the moment. And parting words for today. The first step in changing something, changing your life, making a commitment to your health or to whatever, is to change the words I want to I am going to. Because it changes your direction. It makes a commitment to yourself. It's a bold statement. But the key words, the key small change is what causes you to learn to have to take action. Because once you say that, now you're committed, or going to be committed. Well, I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. Take care of yourself, please. Enjoy your life, and stay awesome.